Hi, and welcome to Moonbeam Connection. I'm Jackie Lee. Today on Into the Shadows, we're going to be pulling a shadow card, and we'll see what shadow aspects that Spirit wants you to start working on, or look at, or acknowledge, or know that it's there. So sort of what Spirit wants you to pay attention to, what side of yourself that Spirit wants you to take a look at and begin to heal. So we'll see. We'll pull one card, please. Or what shadow aspect of ourselves are we looking at today, please? And that's a lot of them. So that's a lot of shadows going on. Let's try that again. Okay. So what shadow aspect of ourselves does Spirit want us to look at, to acknowledge? There we go. And we got acceptance isn't resignation. Okay, so this is a good one. So a lot of times what happens is when people, you got to accept what is, right? Accept what it is, what's there, right? And so, but sometimes people might feel like that's like, well, I'm resigning to the fact that that's acceptable, or that that's okay, or that I agree with that, or, and that's not what this is. This is about just allowing what is, what's going on, I'm just going to accept it, right? I'm not going to resign that, I'm in a bad life situation. I'm just going to resign to the fact that I'm stuck in this bad life situation. But you can accept that this is a bad situation and then do something about it, right? So if you're in a bad relationship, accepting that it's a bad relationship isn't about, I'm going to accept that this is a bad relationship and I'm just going to stay in it, right? That would be resigning to the fact that this is a bad relationship. I'm just going to accept it. I'm going to be resigned to the fact that I'm going to be in a bad relationship. But that's not what this is about. This is about that you accept things how they are and move on from it, right? So, or move away from it, or, sometimes you may just have to accept that this is the way things are. But if you're in a bad relationship, you accept that this is a bad relationship, that this is how it is, that this is how it's going to be, that this is not going to change. But you don't resign to staying in that relationship. You end that relationship, you cut off that relationship, whatever it is, and you move on to something else. You move into a healthier situation. So acceptance is not resigning yourself to being stuck. Acceptance is resigning yourself that this is what this situation is. This situation isn't going to change. How am I going to change? What am I going to do differently so that I'm not in this situation? So if it's a bad relationship, I'm going to leave the relationship. If it's accepting that, your company's closing, right? You're not going to just accept that, I'm going to accept it and resign myself so I'm losing my job and that's it. No, you accept that your company's closing, but you go out and you start looking for another job. You start putting out applications. You start talking to people. And so it's not resigning to leaving things how it is. It's just accepting that this situation, this thing will be like this. And now what am I going to do so that I'm not stuck in it? So that I'm just not giving up and resigning myself to, I'm just in this because I just got to accept it. So understand that acceptance is not resigning to being stuck in the situation. It's just accepting that this situation, this aspect is not good. And now how am I going to change things to make my situation better, right? This situation, not going to change. Got to accept it. So what am I going to do now? Understanding, right? So it's like, that person in a bad relationship who just, it'll be okay. It'll be okay. It'll get better. It'll get better. No, you need to accept that that's a bad relationship and that it needs to end. So we will get another tarot deck here. And we're going to see what Spirit wants us to do. So let's get some advice on how we move forward from here. So you say to yourself, okay, I'm going to accept that this situation, this thing, this relationship is what it is and it's not going to change. Now what do I do? So let's get a piece of advice, please. Ooh, 2 pieces of advice. Okay. So we've got the first one, which is the reversed Empress. So this one actually is about being dependent on people. It can be smothering, like it can be, when it's upright, it's a nurturing, loving fertility, right? It's the I'm having a baby card. So when it's reversed, it can be overly, too much nurturing, smothering the person, creatively being blocked, being selfish or impatient, being dependent, but having to rely on others. So that first piece of advice. And then the second piece of advice is the Fool, which is great. And these are two major arcana cards, so that's pretty interesting. So the Fool is all about new beginnings, freedom, adventure, just trusting things, blind faith, right? He's just walking out on the ledge. He's like, the life is great. I'm just going to walk forward and we're going to see what ends up happening, right? Like whatever it is, we'll just take it as it comes. And so when you have these two pieces of advice, I think really what it's saying is you need to be a little bit more independent, a little bit more selfish in things. And this when it's reversed is a card of dependency. And so I think it's start looking at who you can rely on, who you can depend on, and start a new beginning there, like with starting to rely on others. So let's say that you're in a bad relationship. You got to get out of this. You can't depend on this person, but you can depend on your best friend. And your best friend is going to give you that new start because they're going to allow you to live with them for a month or two until, you get back on your feet, until you can find your own apartment, until whatever. And so it's being a little more selfish, right? We're not, whatever this thing is, this relationship, this circumstance, it's not good. That's why we have to just learn to accept it as it is. And so we're going to be more selfish, right? We're not going to worry about the other person in this bad relationship. Let's just say that's what it is. If this is a bad relationship, we're not worrying about the other person. We're worrying about ourselves, right? This is a bad relationship. Bad relationships are bad for both people, even if the other person doesn't think so. Right? Like, who wants to be with someone who doesn't really want to be with them? And so it's about being more selfish, but also depending on others that you can depend on to help you get this new start, to help you break free, to help you move on from whatever this situation is that you need to be moving on from. And so that is a pretty good, I was going to say, let's get your first step to this. Let's see what your first step to this advice is. Oh, okay, that one is going to come out. All right, just a couple more kind of wanted to come out. We're taking it this way. All right, so we got the reverse 7 of Cups. So this is about finding clarity. It can also be about being tempted by things or being overwhelmed by too many choices. When we have it upright, you have a ton of choices. You have a ton of options. Some are good, some are bad. This way, it can be, too many choices. And if you're getting out of whatever situation, if this is a relationship, all of a sudden you have all the choices in the world, right? You have all the men or women, whatever you want to date, both, whatever, it doesn't matter. But you have all the men and women around that you could be dating. Look at all these choices, and so now that we're getting out of this relationship, we're going to have too many choices, and it can be overwhelming, but it is also about finding that clarity. So here, we're not sure which one do we choose. We don't know. And when we reverse it, now we're getting clarity on that. We're understanding. And so I think what Spirit really wants you to do is not to get overwhelmed by having all these choices, because you do have all these options. Just get clarity on where you want to go next, the next step. This is just the next step. And I'm sorry, you may have noticed the ending to the video. My cat did at that very moment jump into the video, or jump onto my table, and I didn't realize it at first, but she actually ended up turning off my video. But we were just talking about getting clarity in your choices, and it's not about, figuring everything out. It's just about that next step. That's what you're trying to do. What's that next step, right? And get the help you need. So if you need, you need a new job, well, start contacting people in the same field, or even anybody, right? Do you know of job leads? Do you know where I can go? And start asking people and relying on people to help you to make this new start that you're going to do. And again, you don't need clarity on everything. You just need clarity on the next step. And so we're going to get you an angel number now. Thank goodness I noticed that video stopped because I would have been really sad if I got to the end and then realized it wasn't going anymore. And that's what happens. Okay, so let's get an angel number for you today, please. Let's see, an angel number for you. Ooh, maybe I need to slow down. Is that it? Slow down. Maybe that's a sign. Slow down. Nothing has to be done overnight. You've been in this situation for a while. We've got some more cards, but that one actually popped out and we'll take it. So we've got changes. So this is 454. Embrace change and take courageous steps to unlock opportunities for personal growth and spiritual transformation. So, I mean, this is what we're doing, right? We're accepting that things aren't going to change, whatever this is over here. And so we're going to make those changes. That's exactly what we're going to do. We accept that this situation isn't going to change. And now we're going to change what we're doing, how we're dealing with the situation, how, if we're even involved in the situation. And we're going to make those changes to get away from this situation that we've accepted is bad, right? It's not resigning to being stuck in it. It's accepting that this is bad and figuring out our next steps to get away from it. So embrace those change and just be courageous, right? And it says unlock opportunities. You're going to unlock opportunities as you go around. That's why I said you only need the next step right now to be clear on. What is my next step? I'm moving out of this home. I'm leaving this relationship. I'm leaving this job. Get clarity on the next step. And then as you go forward and you start changing and you start embracing that this is the way, these are the changes I'm going to make, suddenly other opportunities will open up. Clarity, more clarity will come to you. Oh, this is going to be my next step. This is going to be my next step. This is going to be my next step. So for today, I think you need an animal, spirit animal. I think this is a good one for today. So let's see what message wants to come out of this spirit animal deck here. Please and thank you. All right, so let's see what message, what spirit animal is going to come out for this reading today. Please, thank you. Oh, and there we go. Oh, we got two. All right, so the first one is Eagle Mastery. So you are on a spiritual journey beyond the sky. Let go of past and soar. You are guided by the winds of spirit. Your wisdom inspires the world. Okay, so it's eagle, which is mastery. So you're on this spiritual journey beyond the sky, right? Like your spiritual connection. And so you're going to let go of your past. So you're letting go of what we're going to accept this and let go of whatever the situation is and soar forward, right? Get on that fool's journey. You're going to just move forward with things and you start with the first step. So you are guided by the winds of spirit. Your wisdom inspires the world. And then we have this one, Raven. Ooh, interesting, two birds. So we have the Raven, who's the shaman. You are the creator and magician. Oh, that's not magician, but that's not magician. It's the card before magician. So you are the creator and magician. Use your gifts for good. There is power in your wisdom and words. Connect with the elemental spirits and glide through the void. Claim your place as keeper of mysteries. So that's very interesting. So make sure you're using your gifts for good. We're not using our gifts to stay stagnant in this relationship or this situation or this job, whatever it is. We're using our gifts for our highest and greatest good. And these cards both really are about your spiritual connection. And oh, look, and just as I said that, look, I didn't even notice this on the card where he's kind of like up like this, like almost like in like a meditative pose a bit. And so definitely the fact that I'm drawn to this, both these cards are talking about your spiritual connection. Definitely what I'll say is that start trying to build that connection with spirit, I guess. And really it's about, you know, I mean, you do it how you want to do it, but like you can do meditation, you can go on walks, you can just, you know, calm your mind while you're working and doing things. Just don't have music on, don't have the, you know, the radio or the TV on. Just keep things quiet. And just even as you're working, that can totally be like working out, doing your job, whatever it is, doing yard work can be that meditative state that sort of brings you, you know, closer to spirit. And it's not closer to spirit. I mean, we are spirit, but like closer to lifting the veil, I guess, so that you can feel it or see it more. And so definitely I mean, we need to step into these changes, and there's definitely a spiritual component. So as you're doing this, try and calm your mind, try and start doing some meditation or journaling or walking, whatever it is where you can be in a quiet location. It doesn't have to be quiet. If you're going for a walk, things can be a little bit noisy, but just where we don't have a lot of background noise as distractions like the TV and the radio and music and all these things going, so that you can sort of hear, right? You can start opening up. You can start finding the peace, and you can start feeling and hearing spirit talking to you. So I hope this message helped you today. I'm sending you peace, love, and happiness. Bye for now.